So
Okay.
what they cover is tuition, they cover fees, they cover your housing, and they cover your meals for all 4 years. And also, one thing I really loved about them is that they give you a one-time $5,000 academic enrichment stipend.
Wow, that sounds great fun.
I was like, I should have applied to this school. So that's $5,000 for you to do whatever, as long as it relates to your academics. So they're covering everything for you. You have, your tuition is paid for. You have housing, so you have a place to live. You have food to eat. What else
Okay.
do you really need?
Hello, guys. Welcome back again. And Winnie is back again to talk about universities with the highest acceptance rate in the US. Because it's one thing to apply, it's one thing for you to be accepted. So it's very, very important when you're applying to know which one to apply to and where to direct your energy. So she's going to give us some list of universities that have high acceptance rates for master's program and for undergrad.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Winnie.
Yes, thank you again for having me. So, before I start, you guys know I like to always have disclaimers and notes. So, I wanted to start by clarifying some things as well. So, I wanted to clarify the difference between full tuition for the bachelor's people. These are the people I'm talking about. So, between full tuition and full ride. So, when a university tells you that they're offering you full tuition, it just means they're covering the cost of your tuition fee.
Okay.
Whereas when a university tells you they're offering you a full ride scholarship, that means they're covering everything. And in that sense, what that means is like they're covering your tuition, they're covering the cost of any fees, they're also covering like room and board, so housing, eating, things like that. They're covering all of that. So I'll start with the bachelor's people, so the undergrad, and then we'll talk a little bit later about the master's and the PhD students as well.
Yeah.
So the first university I have, that have a high acceptance rate, but also offer scholarships as well. So the first one is Drexel University.
Okay.
So Drexel University have what they call the Drexel Global Scholar Program. And it says that they recognize a certain number of international students that have exceptional academic achievement, so good GPA, all of that stuff, and also are committed to global leadership. And it says that this scholarship is full tuition. So again, they only pay your tuition. They don't pay all the fees and everything else. And then the second school is Miami University of Ohio. So Miami University of Ohio have what they call a Presidential Fellows Program. So this scholarship is for 4 years, and this one is a full ride scholarship. So what they cover is tuition, they cover fees, they cover your housing, and they cover your meals for all 4 years. And also, one thing I really loved about them is that they give you a one-time $5,000 academic enrichment stipend.
Wow, that sounds great fun.
I was like, I should have applied to this school. So that's $5,000 for you to do whatever, as long as it relates to your academics. So they're covering everything for you. You have, your tuition is paid for. You have housing, so you have a place to live. You have food to eat. What else do you really need?
Yeah, what else you want?
Exactly. And then our next university, the third one is Hampshire. I don't know, y'all. I'm bad at pronunciation.
It's written on the.
Yes, it'll be written on the screen. Thank you, Dr. Ayo. So it's Hampshire University, and they have an International Scholars Award. So it says this university covers tuition, fees, room and board, and all other required fees. So this one is a fully funded scholarship. So it's called the International Scholars Award. So everything is covered for you. And then the next university is Capital University. So Capital University have a collegiate fellowship. And it says that this one only covers tuition as well. And this is for people who have, so you must be enrolled at their university, and then you need to maintain at least a 3.0 GPA when you're enrolled. And then the last university I have for my undergraduate people is Lincoln University, which I believe is in Pennsylvania. So Lincoln University says that for 10 incoming international students that have at least an ACT score of 1,000 or higher and a 3.3 GPA, they cover all your full tuition and fees. And that scholarship is called the International Scholarship.
All right.
So that was all for the undergraduate people. And then for my people, the masters and our PhD, the smart people. So what I started when Dr. Aya asked me to do this video, the first thing I did was I tried to say, I just typed in on Google, U.S. universities that admit the highest percentage of international students in the United States. I just wanted to get a list.
Yeah.
So I came through this report that's by the U.S. News, and basically some of the schools that were listed on that list were University of Cincinnati, University of Texas in Dallas, Indiana University in Bloomington, Pace University, University of Colorado Boulder, University of Texas, Kent State, University of Toledo. So what I did then was I decided to look into some of the scholarship packages for this school, because you guys, while they accept a lot of international students, we also want to make sure that they have a good scholarship package as well for those who need it.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about 4 of those universities that I dipped into. So out of those, I think it was like a list of 10 schools total. The first school I looked into was Colorado State University. So when I looked into their package or their scholarship package, actually for the scholarship package, it's different in graduate school. So instead of scholarships, they call them graduate assistantships.
Okay.
So these graduate assistantships comes in different form. They have administrative graduate assistantships, and administrative ones is where you just work on campus on they just give you a certain position. So for example, when I went to Kent State University, I had an administrative assistantship with their residence life team, where basically I was just helping them out in their residence halls. So that was administrative. But we also have like research graduate assistantships. So the research graduate assistantships, typically you work with like a faculty member doing some sort of research.
Okay, so, the graduate assistantship, it means that's a way of paying back the money.
Exactly. So it's like they're giving you, they cover your tuition, they cover all of these things, but in exchange, you're working for them.
Service, yeah.
So you're working for them part-time, which I think, and I know for a lot of people, they might be like, oh my gosh, but I think that's good, because that way you're going to school, but you're also getting work experiences.
That's right.
Exactly. And this is something that can go on your CV. So this is really, really important. So I mentioned the administrative graduate assistantship, I mentioned the research one, and then the last graduate assistantships that I typically hear of is what's called the graduate teaching assistantships. So this is when you teach a class. So it could be like English 101 or biology 101 or whatever. So stuff like that. So that's the one you typically teach a class. A lot of times you just co-teach. So they have a teacher, but it's either maybe you're the one that grades the papers, you're the one that, you give the students extra lessons, stuff like that. So those are the 3 different graduate assistantships. And like I said, for bachelor's, for people doing their undergraduate programs, they typically call them scholarships. But for master's and PhD, we talk about graduate assistantships, not scholarships.
Okay.
All right. So now let's go back into digging into my first school. So the first school we have is Colorado State University. So Colorado State University, for theirs, they offer, for their graduate assistants, they have stipends. A stipend is like pocket money. So it's money that is for you. They also cover your tuition. They also have health insurance as well. And then one thing I really liked about them, and this was why I wanted them to be the first school that I talk about, is they have something called the Employee Assistance Program. And basically, it's like you're able to get, so for example, some of the things that include is you're able to get like 6 free sessions with a therapist. So if you're navigating some challenges, you can talk to a therapist. Also, they also offer like financial assistance as well, in terms of like, I think a lot of us, when we come to America, we're just trying to figure out how to survive, but you don't think about the future, especially when you're a student. But one thing that they offer is they offer a 401k, and that helps you actually save money for your future, for retirement. So that's when you're able to. So it's like
a certain amount of money.
Exactly. You put certain amount, the university puts certain amount, and then when you leave, you're able to kind of take that money with you, or you can transfer into a different 401k. So I was like, okay, this school is like, I love that. I love them. And then the next school is Kent State University, which I was really surprised that they have one of the highest percentage that's the school, right? Percentage. Yes, and that's my school. So for Kent State University, which I can talk to more personally, because I went there, I worked there. So for Kent State, for a lot of the programs, we offer full tuition, which basically means that we cover your tuition fees. There's also health insurance as well. At the time when I was still a student, so 2 years ago, they used to cover 75%, and then you would cover the rest, which was still not high. And then we also had a stipend. So recently, the stipend amount was changed. So now the stipend is at least $11,000 a year. That's the minimum we pay you. When I was a student, it was 7,000. So it's a huge improvement.
Huge amount.
Yes, yeah. So Kent State. And then the next university I have is Pace University. So Pace University also have, they offer full tuition. And then for their stipend, they say that they have a stipend of at least $4,500 per semester. And then the last university I have for my master's and PhD students is Indiana University, Bloomington. So it says that their stipend typically ranges from $5,000 to $12,000 for 2 semesters. And then they also offer you either a full tuition waiver or a partial tuition waiver. So those were some of the schools that, you know, they accept a high number of international students, but also have funding. Because I know, like, for me, when I was applying to schools, funding was something that was very important to me. I don't think I would have gone to grad school if I did not get funding. So I hope that these universities are really helpful to y'all.
Yeah. Thank you so much for helping us out. So guys, I'm going to put the list of the universities in the description so you can go through it and send your application. So we've made a video previously. So if you want to listen to the video, please check it out. It's universities that waive GRE, the universities without any GRE requirements. And also, please make sure you check out Winnie on our YouTube channel. The name of our YouTube channel is Winnie with Winnie.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And also, if you have any inquiries, maybe you want any consultation, you want to talk to her about how to go about the whole process, she's there. Reach out to her on our Instagram. It's going to be on the screen, the email address as well. Everything will be put on the screen right now. Reach out to her. She's capable of taking care of everything, you know, right from the beginning to the end. She said she graduated from Kent State University master's program, so she knows exactly what she's talking about, and she knows everything about the whole process. Please subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys again the next time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.